Good day everyone, I'm Gilder Kasinsinan and I'm here to continue the discussion about the topic of thematic issues in human environment geography.
First, let me discuss to you the local and urban air pollution. So, major urban air pollutants include particulate matter like soot, fly, ash, dust, pollen, sulfur dioxide, nitrogen dioxide, carbon monoxide, ground level ozone, and lead. Particulate matter emerges from a variety of sources like mainly as the result of fossil fuel combustion and wood burning and can lead to cardiorespiratory disease, while sulfur dioxide and nitrogen dioxide both lead to the regional atmospheric problem of acid deposition, and these are also local level pollutants.
So that means high concentrations of sulfur dioxide emissions resulting from the combustions of impure fossil fuels such as coal and fuel oil, which are often burned to generate electricity, can result in breathing problems for asthmatic children and adults who are active outdoors. Other effects associated with long-term exposure to sulfur dioxide in conjunction with high levels of particulate soot include the respiratory illness, alteration in the lungs defenses, and aggravation of existing cardiovascular disease. Similarly, prolonged exposure to nitrogen dioxide generated by motor vehicles, industrial processes, and thermal power plants may decrease lung function and increase the risk of respiratory symptoms such as acute bronchitis and cough and phlegm, particularly in children. So additionally, as a human, it is important to us to remember the local level air pollution in some ways a more serious and pressing concern for most of the world's citizens. Furthermore, in some instances, particular pollutants are locally problematic in one way and then troublesome in another manner of broader scales.
Are we clear on that? Let's move to the next slide. Energy consumption. As discussed earlier, CO2 emissions from fossil fuel combustion are responsible for 82% of global warming from greenhouse gases that are produced by humans. World energy consumption trends have increased steadily over time, with an occasional pause or downturn in demand. In some instances, demand has slackened because of a supply shock and related rising prices which have cut into demand, such as the formation of the OPEC oil cartel in 1973 to 1975 or the Iran-Iraq war into 1979 to 1982.
So this trend shows is that energy consumption is fairly price sensitive or elastic, as consumption tends to fall when prices are high and rise when prices fall or stay low for an extended period of time. People adapt to rising energy prices by changing their behavior, making do with less, or over time, investing in more efficient technology. Like for example, energy intensity increased for Korea as it became a more prominent global manufacturer from the 1980s. Also, the case of Japan is interesting as it has maintained a strong manufacturing sector and has long been known for having some of the most energy efficient production methods in the world.
Conventional and alternative sources of energy. So conventional fossil fuels like oil, coal, and natural gas dominate the world's energy market. Despite the growing importance of some of these fuel sources over time, such as oil, many experts are concerned about their long-term viability for at least two reasons. First concern is that these are non-renewable resources and they will eventually run out.
To build the global economy on the back of resources that will eventually run out seems problematic, especially if the search for alternatives is not well underway. Furthermore, some scholars believe we have reached a situation known as peak oil, an assertion that we have reached or surpassed the globe's peak oil production.
So to add, let me discuss also the energy and transport. The transport sector accounts for a significant proportion of energy use and air pollution. It is also a sector where urban design or the layout of cities, networks within a connecting cities, and modes of transportation have a significant impact on energy consumption. Emissions per capita for transport may vary tremendously amongst the most developed countries in the world.
Some of this has to do with population density, with those in high-density countries like Japan and the Netherlands traveling much less than those in low-density countries such as the US, Canada, and Australia. That said, the differences seem to extend beyond population density. Like US residents, for example, drive more than those in other countries and are much less likely to use alternative form of transportation. So are we clear on that? So if you not have any question, let me read this quotation by Al Gore. He said, pollution should never be the price of prosperity. So that's all. Thank you for listening.